It's only $22.99. It is literally everything. It's a solar flashlight, it's an AM FM radio, it's a weather radio, it's a radio itself. It's gonna allow, it's a power bank, it's a lantern. I mean, it's an alarm. It is just the coolest thing ever. And you have a chance to pick this up at a little more than a $20 bill. It's close to half price. And there's free shipping and handling. These are the amazing colors. Our first airing, since we sold out well before the holidays, is right here in my show this morning, so have at it. We've got these beautiful colors of green and teal and red and blue and magenta. So we're gonna share with you what it does, because it is the coolest thing. Justin Hyatt, come on out.
Well,
I never got to offer this during the holidays. I was so mad. Not at you, just mad that it sold out.
How could you get mad at me?
I could never get mad at you,
know,
ever.
We call it the 8-in-1 flashlight. It's an emergency kit, literally all in one. And if as we start to go through it, I want you to put value to every single little feature that it has. As a flashlight, how much money would you spend on a flashlight? How about this? Here's your flashlight. What about having a little desk light or a crafting light? Okay, solar right here, so you can recharge it while you're using it outside. Why would you be using it outside? Because it's also your AM, FM radio with your NOAA radio as well. So you have all of those local alerts run through our local government, letting you know what's happening minute to minute for any of those weather events that are happening. As we've seen, a lot going on just this past 6 months, this past year, and years beyond. The other thing is it's rechargeable, meaning you don't have to spend another penny on batteries. So recharge it that way.
My favorite thing.
And then
ready?
The dynamo crank. So we can go ahead, we can do, and even if you're looking, you remember the fidget spinners? You'll find yourself doing just doing this. So now you can recharge it by doing the dynamo crank. You can recharge it by going ahead and using that solar panel. And you can also, right here, there's that solar panel. And by the way, talk about recharging. You can use this as a power bank. That's right. You can plug your phone into your emergency kit, your 8-in-1, to recharge your phone, your tablet. So think about it again, a power bank, a flashlight, a desk light, and an AM FM radio with the NOAA radio. You have everything right here, so you can just have this wherever you want, in the car or in the house. I recommend at this value, it's the lowest price at this configuration with all the new colors that we've ever done.
They're all back in stock. The fact that it's a radio, it's a NOAA weather radio, I mean, and it's a flashlight, and it's got all the other bells. I mean, talk about bells and whistles.
Yeah.
You are right, this is like its own little mini emergency kit right here. That's it.
So recently when we had the hurricane, the first thing I did, well, you know, I had all my stuff out. I had my EcoFlows out. I had my flashlights, had these out, of course. And so what I did was, you know, I set this down and I went and I hit the power button and I just had the flashlight standing up so it would hit the ceiling and illuminate down.
Great.
When you have no internet, no cell service, we had no cell service, we had no internet, I had no form of communication for days. The only form of communication I had was the things that we always fall back on. The things that work, the things that have been around for so long, our radio and our AM and FM. It was nice to listen to that local radio. So when this happened,
literally happening in Florida right now,
like
where we are.
Today is a very apocalyptic seeming day, but in Georgia and all through just even north of us, they're having this freeze. That's going to be all this like ice storm that's going to be knocking out power. Doesn't matter where you are in the country. It's a very similar story that we always talk about with all these emergency backup powers. That's exactly what this is. It's your emergency backup. It's your emergency flashlight. It's your emergency form of communication and your emergency form of entertainment. There's nothing worse than sitting in just silence. It is nice to know that we'll be able to not sit in the dark, not sit in silence, be able to have that AM FM radio. And look, this is one of those purchases that I love because for the majority of the time, will you be using it for emergencies? No. But to know that you have an AM and FM radio that you can take outside, that you can take and listen to the radio. And I just love that. And again, leave one in the car, leave one in the house.
There's the little radio dial right here. And there's, I believe the speakers are right there. So, I mean, it's just really a cool design. What a brilliant product. I'm not at all surprised it sold out quickly before the holidays. Oh, I just put that right in my eye. That was nice. I literally shined this right in my eyeball. It's bright. I want to show you the colors. We have it in the teal. We have teal, blue, green. This is orange, and this is magenta. So if you wanted to get all 5 of them, one for each person in the house, one for each kid, if they, you know everybody needs to have an emergency kit. And as a parent, that feels good, knowing you've at least provided them with the essential things that keep them safe. Because it is stressful going through storms. It's very stressful.
Kids love flashlights. I remember as a kid thinking, I want my own flashlight. And it's funny, you know, even just thinking back to that, my grandparents, they had a flashlight. They still have it in their house that had the dynamo crank. Literally that same technology, and I love that because, you know, we always think about all these new bells and whistles, but yet when all of those things are removed, what do we fall back on? We fall back on the technology that works. Having that AM, FM, having that rechargeability with our flashlight, having the solar panel. And when we come back to one of the features I haven't even talked about, and I keep mentioning get one for the house and get one for your car, is that having that SOS built in too. So now when you're sitting there and you want to be able to be heard or be able to be seen, now we've got that SOS flashlight and you're hearing that radio right here, that audio coming out of the bottom. Now you have that audible speaker to notify anybody who, again, if you're incapacitated in an area where we have ice and we have all these different storms and somebody can't see you or hear you, it's nice to know that you have that, and it could be for your home too.
That's really cool. Did you see this part? I mean, this, what a well-designed piece for all of these components to be put into the size of a flashlight. I mean, you're getting two charging ports right there. I mean, that is the most stressful thing of all, is seeing your bullet go down to like red and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got 5%.
It's when it happens at the worst time.
Always. But you've got the ability to charge those things up. Let's give you a nice close-up tour. I'll let you do it on your end.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that's really nice about this. It's that it's not overly techy. It's very simple. Everything is accessible right here, and it looks like a flashlight, and it feels like a flashlight, except it's so much more. So we've got right here where we'll switch from that WB, which stands for Weatherband radio. That's how we'll be able to go ahead and turn on that NOAA radio and access all of those emergency channels where we can hear what's happening with the weather, whether it's the winter storms or hurricanes or tornadoes. And then right here we can switch from AM to FM, and then right here is how I switch to that SOS. So right back to that Weatherband. Here's how I'm going to turn it on. I'll control my volume. Here's how I can recharge the flashlight. So we give you that cable. And then this is one of the things that I love, is that with all of the things that we have built in, you can still use this as a power bank. So plug in your phone in that emergency. Plug in your tablet in that emergency, knowing that you have something. Again, in an overall kit, that's what this is. So if, again, when we thought about putting value to all of the things, how much would you spend on a radio? AM and FM and NOAA radio. How much would you spend on a power bank? We sell power banks for $50 by themselves.
Absolutely.
And then think about the flashlight. And I love, you know what, we talk about just all the different ways that you can use this day to day. I love this little down light because this is one of those things where you're just gonna be like, I've been looking for a perfect light to just put right by my bed. If you're a crafter, you know light is extremely important. You're gonna love having that little light right here.
That
collapses
is
right down.
cool.
And maybe it's just reading a book right by your favorite little lazy boy couch.
Right.
And you're doing your nails.
Doing your nails.
Why didn't I think of that?
Maybe trimming your beard.
Yeah, well, no, that's, I let it grow.
It's cold, so you need a little extra warmth.
Exactly, yes.
So yeah, I mean, when this happens, there's, what the first thing you reach for is a flashlight.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of something that's more than just one thing. A flashlight is a flashlight until you get this. The Azpen, it's a flashlight, but everything else matters. That you don't have to go, you know, rummaging through the emergency kit if you put one together.
Right.
Most of us are like, have good intentions. But when it's all put together in this one small condensed design, brilliant.
It is. And you know, it's interesting because when you're looking at it, you can't really feel the weight of it. But I got to tell you, one of the things, especially when you look at the size, you might think, well, how heavy is that? When we look at flashlights like this, I think we become jaded because we just assume, well, that is going to be a very heavy flashlight. We're so used to seeing these where they have those D batteries in them. No D batteries
I know the one
needed,
you're talking
right?
about.
You know,
Those are
those
heavy.
gigantic, heavy flashlights. This weighs absolutely nothing. It's going to feel comfortable in your hand. And again, I love the fact that, yeah, it looks like a flashlight because often we'll see some of these different versions where they don't feel like a flashlight. So carrying them around, and maybe your emergency kit might be in the bathroom, it might be in the kitchen, wherever you decide to have this flashlight, it's going to fit seamlessly and it's going to be there for you in what we call emergencies. But then it's so accessible and easy. You grab it, you say, let's go listen to the AM and FM radio by the pool. Let's go and take this and leave it in the car. We're going on a road trip. Grab the Azpen flashlight.
For sure, put one in your glove box. For sure, put one in every car because you never know. I mean, a flat tire and you're on the roads and it's dark and there's snowing and all the things. Everything you need in the event of an emergency is right here, and it's 12 ounces, by the way.
Is that 12 ounces? It's nothing.
It's so light. It's so portable. But that light I don't want to flash the camera too bright, but look at how bright that is. And then that is just one of the lights. There's the other one, and everything is just operated right here.
Yep.
So it's just a brilliant thing, and it stands up on its own. If you want that light straight up, it stands up this way. If you want the light straight down, there's the tuning dial, and then you went through all the other dials right here. There's your antenna, because it is not just an AM/FM radio. I mean, it gets all the weather information that's most important, evacuation zones and things like that.
So hurricane, and this is my real true life story. Hurricane hits, we have internet at that moment. I can see kind of what's happening. But there was about an hour where we lost power, we lost internet, I had no cell service. When that hurricane could have shifted further north, and then we would have had even worse storm surge. By worse, I mean a more 15-foot storm surge. All of that hour of communication, you know how I was able to have it and keep it? Was with this. And that's why I say, look, yeah, you think, well, we'll always have cell service. We'll always have internet. You won't. And in those moments where even the next day where I go outside and I'm having to do all the cleanup, you know what I did? I'm out there outside with the AM radio and the FM radio, listening to the local news and listening to see what happened. You know, the stadium right here, the Tropicana Field, had no idea that the whole entire roof had been ripped off. Yep. But I was able to know right here from my radio everything that was happening, what roads were closed. This is your line of communication. This is also what keeps that line of communication open, because you have that power bank, so you can charge your phone up when I have cell service back and can communicate with anybody as well.
And that in and of itself is huge. I think this too. Let's talk about this little crank.
You can hear the rain.
Yeah, it's
pouring
really,
here.
It's really storming here. So you can charge this up with the little charging cable that we give you, and then this is the other way of doing like a kinetic charge, isn't it?
So, you know, I had the EcoFlow, of course, and if you're not familiar, that's where you know, our backup power, but I wanted to put this to the test. And so after about 3 days of using radio and using the flashlight and going out, and even during the storm, I was outside looking at the flood, seeing how close the water was getting to the house. After about 3 or 4 days of using it consistently, I was able to just go ahead and do this and recharge it. And knowing you have that, I can tell you that we always mention peace of mind. When you put it to the test and you feel just doing this and you realize, wow, this is the way that I get to recharge it. And then during the day while I was listening to the radio, you know what I did? I opened this up. And now with that solar, it was recharging.
Oh, that's
so it's recharging with the sun while I'm listening to the radio. And then if I wanted to recharge it even faster, I just use that dynamo crank and I can just continue to do this.
So 3 ways to keep it charged.
Yep.
The sun, the crank, or the cable that we're giving you. And then all the other things. I mean, how many things do you need to keep charged when you're without power? I mean, phones, tablets, laptops. I mean, you can do... You've got what you need, and that's what I think is so brilliant. This is an incredible price at this. I think this is a lower price than when we did it before the holidays.
Well, and the free shipping.
And free shipping.
Which is crazy. And that's why, you know, when we do that, I always say, like, look, if you can grab 2 or 3 at this and put one in the house and put one in the car, but this is the lowest that we've done at the single pack and with all of the new colors. Because originally, we only had the blue and kind of our red and or orange.
Oh.
We added the green, and then I don't know what we're calling this.
This one is called turquoise.
The turquoise, and then the magenta.
Okay, so here's magenta.
All of those are brand new colors that we are just launching as well.
We do have the green, the blue, and the turquoise. If you wanted all 5 colors, I wouldn't blame you one bit. When you look at the price, it's close to buying one and getting one almost free, especially with free shipping on as many of them as you would like. That adds up, and boy, what a smart thing. Here we are, it's the middle of January, long winter ahead for a lot of you, and even without the winter, there's always some reason. Power went out. There's so many reasons that happens, not just the icicles taking down the power lines, as you and I both know in Minnesota. But, you know, sometimes, you know, somebody can drive into a power.
I've had that happen.
Me too.
I was one of 3 homes. I was like, what is going on? How is this possible? I'm looking outside, it's a beautiful day, and unfortunately, I think there was a work truck that ended up hitting into one of the power poles. Anything can happen.
Yeah, no, it happened in my neighborhood. Like, our neighborhood was without power for like 8 hours. Some lady just didn't take the full turn and ran into... Anyway, we all know what happens.
Yep.
I just know that it feels so good being prepared.
Yeah.
Nothing feels better than that, so.
And doing one purchase that prepares you for 8 different things and knowing you can recharge it, this is a no-brainer.
Over 1,000 gone.
And this was a customer pick when we had it at the 2-pack.
Oh yeah, but it's not, only because this is now a brand new colors, a new configuration. It's gonna be, oh, thank you. I'm so glad I got the first airing. I whined and complained so much that I didn't
You're
get
not
to,
a whiner and complainer. I don't believe that.
Not too much until I am. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving straight on to another really, really important product, because when power